Welcome back to the channel, guys. I am streaming this right now live on Kick and YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, make sure you smash the like button. If you haven't already, subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you want to follow me on Kick, go into the description. You'll find the link for that in the description. If you're watching this on Kick, head over to my YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube at HoldenOfficial1. Remember, share, copy link to clipboard, make a little social media post, send to your friend on Facebook or WhatsApp Messenger. We're talking about the celebrity gangster who isn't with us anymore. Rest in peace, Dave Courtney. Just a bit of an open chat. Just to talk about things, see what the crack is with people. Just give me a wee second. That's why I put on the music, because I'm doing a few things before the live, before I can actually start this live properly. Tell me, can anybody in the chat tell me if the music's too loud? What's the crack, mate? I hope you're well. I just need to know if this music's too loud, because I wanna know the correct volume to put this music. A wee bit too loud, maybe. Would that be better? I know, Hunter, I will be. I just need to know, for talking reasons, what's the best volume to put it on. I know I've got a few viewers on Kick here. Listen, it's just like Rumble. I cannot see your comments on Kick. And I can't even see if you're watching either, but I know I've just clicked on there and there was a few people on Kick. I just want to make sure this is going well on Kick. Just give me a second, guys. I was on Kick the other day and there was like 15 people watching. I didn't even... I just need to make sure it's working on Kick properly. Yeah. Okay. All good to go, all good to go. So what is the crack with everybody? So yeah, celebrity gangster. I've got a few questions, right? I've got a few questions. Obviously, rest in peace. You know, I do believe he de-lifed himself. That's a terrible thing. You know, I believe he had an illness that he was going to suffer, endure this illness that was going to deplete him. He didn't want to go through that. That's the word in the street. And then he done what he done. Okay, fair enough, fair play. I get that. But, you know, and rest in peace. But there's one thing I didn't know he was a Sir Dave Courtney. He was OBE. Until today. How does that work out? If you're a gangster, gangsters can get OBEs. That's a strange one, isn't it? Is it okay now, Paddy? Turn it up the fuck. I just don't want it too loud. Do you know what I mean, Stevie boy? Wee man Sham, hope you're keeping well, mate. So I've watched a few streams today of people that knew him. There's that fella Barnett. I watched his video. He had a lot of good words to say about him. Obviously, if I think Paddy Conroy's going live tonight, I'll definitely be watching that. Do you know what I mean? As you would be, of course you would. Um, and what do you call that other geezer? He's like an old timer, like old school gangster. He's on YouTube now. I forget his name. He was talking about him. He was very respectful, even though they didn't like each other. But what I don't get is I didn't know that he was a Sir Dave Courtney. How does that work out? Are gangsters not frowned upon? So if you're like, if for instance, if you're a gangster, right? If I'm a gangster and I'm English, how can I get a Sir? Isn't that OBE? Isn't it? How can you get an OBE? That doesn't make sense. Just a genuine question. Maybe I'm wrong about certain things that go on in England, like, but that's like being given the keys to the city over here if you're a gangster. I don't understand that. Let me see what the chat has to say. Well, there you go, Mr. Lottie. You know, the only man gangster enough to do it was himself. Good point. Good point. I to be honest with you, I don't know too much about the man. I know that I've seen him in those documentaries, and I watch Ebenezer Greensplat, and I see all the stuff. That obviously there's people that don't like him, but how can you be a gangster and have an OBE? How does that work out? I understand making movies about him and his life. Fair play. Like, you know, the man needs to be respected or whatever. You know, and he's just recently passed away. But when did he become a Sir? That's a bit strange to me, that one. It's a big achievement for his life, like. I need to get glasses. I think I'm going blind here. He's right too. I'd do the same. I made my old man promise me if I ever had a bad accident, he would finish me off. A lot of people think that way, mate, you know? I don't think I'll put that up, Stevie boy. It's a bit too soon for that, mate. Do you know what I mean? Hold on, what? He gave himself title of OBE? What do you mean? He gave himself a title of OBE? Is that a joke? Like, do you know what I mean? Is that a joke? Is that an actual joke? Or are you being serious, mate? That's pretty mad, that, like. Emma, hope you're keeping well. I know a few tales were told, like 100%. You know, I always said, right? Imagine a faction of the Irish cartel or the Mexican cartel coming onto YouTube telling stories. They would be arrested. Do you know what I mean? They'd be arrested. So you have to think about that. You know, anything that's said in the public domain is all it's not bollocks. Like there's some of it that's true, but there's some things you have to look at there and go, you know, why would you be coming online and saying stuff? Obviously, like, it's been given the go ahead. Like, think about it. If you're a gangster, it means that you've been doing criminal things. So why would you come online and say it? Who gives permission for that? Like, that's like me becoming a notorious dealer over here, and I'm just gonna stop dealing now. I'm gonna stop dealing this baby powder. I'm gonna write a book and tell everybody all the mad stories about me selling baby powder. Do you know what I mean? Do you get where I'm coming from? It's like, what? Ray Hill. That's I like Ray. For a big up to Ray Hill. I like Ray. He's a good lad. I'm a subscriber of his. I would tune into a lot of his stuff. I don't really comment too much because obviously the English thing's not really my territory. Like I wouldn't know too much about that. I stay away from all that northeast stuff. Viv, Graham, you know, uh, what do you call the other ones? Even all the beefs between all the fellas like Paul Venus and all that. It's got fuck all to do with me. There's plenty of shit going on over here. There's boys getting clipped over here, left, right, and center for mad shit. But what I don't get is how can you be a celebrity gangster? I've always wanted to know this. I get that. Okay, fair enough. Just so you've got at the minute you got a bit of a war going on. Do you know the boys from the Real Rise of the Foot Soldier? Like what actually happened there? I forget all their names. Fuck, I'm shit with names. Um, they're all actually warring on YouTube at the minute. Do you know what I mean? They're all having a bit of a beef on YouTube at the minute. I get that they came from that fucking mad world, but how can you be a celebrity gangster and be like celebrated in the newspaper and on TV and even I don't know if he says it's a self-proclaimed OBE. If you're a gangster, you're a gangster. You've chose to go against the establishment and the system. Do you know what I mean? If you're not that, you're either a copper or you're clean living. And you're for the establishment and clean living. You can't, there's no weird in between. Anybody, like, I have to say it, anybody over here that was put in the pedestal by like the media and certain entities, and they also called themselves a gangster, that would be a red flag. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's different in England. I don't know. But I seen a few of his videos. He seemed like a good lad. But the thing about it is, man, see, I don't even want to say the word. See the big C. I watched my brother-in-law go through that, and there's not a chance. I forgot to put on my laptop. There's not a chance, right? I would want to go through what he went through. He had it of the esophagus, and within 2 years, he was like a skeleton, like an actual skeleton. And he was a big lad too. He was from Liverpool, so I can understand it. Like, maybe he would have been seeing certain people going through that, and he didn't want to go through that. I get that. Do you know what I mean? But the way he done it, though, like people are saying that he done it. I can't say it for YouTube, but through the head. Like, it's like maybe some type of drugs. Maybe you pass off slowly. That takes next level bollocks to do that. Like 100%. I couldn't do that. Either way, I'd probably look for something that's going to make me pass on easy. I couldn't do it. I definitely couldn't do it the way he done it. So, oh, so he was a good friend, a man of comedy who just took his opportunity. So he wasn't a gangster then. Was he a comedian? Was he a comedian? He was a man of comedy. So was he in that sort of circuit of stand up comedy? I'm just going back up the chat here. I don't want to. I'm terrible with the chat. Like, is PD in here? I see Paddy going on about it all the time. I watch Paddy's lives, and you hear about this Courtney show, and I'm thinking, what's going on with this Courtney show? Obviously, there's a lot of people that's a viewer of his stuff. Like, I view most of his stuff whenever I can. Like, I don't really watch Voldemort. Don't really watch any of the other channels. But I would watch a bit of Paddy, like, and he was talking about this Courtney show. Was something happened at this Courtney show, and I thought, was that the Courtney show that, what do you call him, Dougie Joyce? Is that the same Courtney show, or was there a previous Courtney show where something went on? That's what I thought, Graham. I thought that, but there was people putting up Sir Dave Courtney. I seen one channel put up Sir Dave Courtney. That maybe they're wrong. I just, maybe he isn't. Donnie, I hope you're keeping well, mate. It happened with one lad in Dublin. I won't say his name. He's dead now. There's a lot of that goes on in Dublin. Jesus Christ, it's fucking wild down there today. Like, I tell you what, that's a Dublin's gonna pop off. Like, see, I always thought about this. See if the boys from Dublin, or from just in Ireland in general, north and south, were on YouTube the way all they are on England, there would definitely be a gang war, like a proper shootout gang war. They couldn't do it. What's this here? Hold on. So I think that was PD ringing me there. PD, if you were ringing me there, mate, sorry I missed your call. Let me see if I can ring him back. I think you rang me on Instagram there, mate, did you? Give me a wee second. I'm just going to ring PD here. So PD rang me there. He says I'm miles behind in the chat. I thought it was up to date there. I can't keep up with the chat sometimes, like, even if there's only a couple of people in. There's the link there, mate. I whacked that on there for you. Let me actually get my hit. This place is wrecked. As you can see, I haven't prepared for nothing. Like, but it's maybe it's just boys talking shite. Then was it? You come online and you don't know what. You don't know what people are going to put in the title. There's PD there.
Shannon, just give me a second. Just give me 2 minutes.
A second, just putting on my headset here. I can hear you better.
Just go get my tray. I'm going to roll one.
What's the crack, mate? What are you at?
No, just home from work. Just give me 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Work away, mate. Work away.
I wasn't planning on coming on, but just give me 2 minutes. I'll move to the kitchen.
Yeah, mate. Take your time. 100%. Don't worry about it. I'm only on for an hour myself, like.
Yeah, this Courtney thing. Yeah, he's not a sir. No, that's. Did he get an OBE for charity? Fucking bullshit work. I think Paddy Conroy is kind of on a little bit of a fucking. Now, I don't like talking about Conroy much because he's involved in wacky side of YouTube that I don't want to be involved in.
Yeah, yeah.
What I do think that Courtney would have been an asset for some sort of agency because up to before the Craze funeral, he was very little known. He'd have been known a little bit around London, but not to the scale that he portrays. And
Yeah, like I watched a bit of Paddy there. Like as I say, I don't get involved in all the mad shit. Like
I don't either, bro.
but because he is involved in some mad shit there. Paddy is like, but
Hey,
the thing
listen, it's not
about
that I'd be scared to get involved. I don't give a fuck about any contact that gave me his mother, but
yeah,
I
yeah.
just don't need that drama online. It's like if I
Well,
see what Paddy is doing is basically Ronan snitching online, and it's sad to see a gangster, inverted commas, gangster, at his age doing it.
yeah, well, listen, we're not going to talk about that here because I don't know too much about that situation. And when it comes to, all that stuff about snitching and stuff, like I've watched a bit of what I will say is, right, because there's not too many people that do this, right? It's either one or the other. It's either they're saying something really bad about Paddy or they're not, or they're being
Yeah,
nice to him, right?
yeah.
Let's be honest here, right? There's some mad shit that's went on in the background. People have targeted him for some unknown reason, got involved in that shit for whatever reason I do not know. But the fact is he was involved with some of the maddest shit back in the day.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
why certain people would want to get involved in that, I do not know. Look, I'm not going to sit here and call it. Look, gun to my head, what I say is I probably wouldn't say is because if you're online saying the things that he's saying, well, there's going to be repercussions for that. He knows that himself. So why would you
Not
why would you come up?
necessarily if there's a fucking hidden agenda in the background. Like, just 1 second, I'll be back.
I don't really want to give my mind up.
Cigarettes. I just want to roll on. So, like, if you're experienced with YouTube now, you know how this YouTube algorithm works. You know how
Yeah.
you're here now. What, 2 years? Roughly
Yeah,
2 years. Yeah.
2 years, yeah.
Yeah. So you have a good understanding how this algorithm works.
Yeah.
And you know what gets channels striked. You know what gets channels demonetized. You know the algorithm basically.
100%, man.
And there's not a lot of channels without getting. We'll hypothetically talk about Joe blogs, so we're not mentioning names. So hypothetically, Joe blogs shouldn't have a channel that's getting like 7 and 8 and 900 people. Fair play to him for getting those kind of numbers every single day. But when there's a lot of half truths and misinformation and murders being spoken about, like openly spoken about,
Yeah.
that channels don't get shut down or lose money.
But if you think about why he's saying that, though, so one of the what my understanding is that his whole baseline on just talking about this individual for 1 second. I don't mind saying the man's name when we're just talking about what he said and we're not accusing anybody of anything.
Yeah.
So he's saying that he's been targeted for years, right? And he's been wrongly imprisoned so many times, right? But believe that or not, whatever anybody wants to believe, that's 100% fine, right? But what I'm trying to say is we do know that back then the cops did target certain people, and he's trying to say there's a Masonic link to this, and that Masonic link led back to these certain shows with Dave Courtney and certain other people. So
he's probably 15 or 20% right with some of it, but I think it's not nowadays. Maybe in the 60s, 70s, 80s, into the 90s, a lot of that shit, especially Masonic stuff, would have been happening, Ronan. Like, we're not stupid enough to not
like
think
that
that
still happens here because there's I was speaking to a fellow the other day, and I was saying to him, look, about the whole Masonic situation, on YouTube, and he says, look, 100% over here, most of the Orange men were all in the lodge.
In the lodges,
and an Orange Hall would just be another form of a Masonic lodge.
Yeah.
And he says, 100% they would set you up, they would fit you up, especially anybody that was against the establishment. They were in there trying to set you up no matter what you were doing. If you went against them.
Just go back to high profile people on YouTube and social media in the last 10 years. Anyone that's gone out against the establishment has been in some way ruined. And unless they were thick-skinned enough like Trump and Tate and whatever to
Yeah.
work through. Anyone like Tommy Robinson,
Yeah.
like whether you agree with his views or you don't agree with his views, all these people that go against the establishment have all been.
Well, if you
Look
look
at
at
Epstein.
Tommy Robinson came over to Ireland, right? And
He has the right idea about Ireland, though, bro.
yeah, he does have the right idea, and it is. We'll have to be careful now because this is where the
Yeah,
fucking just
yeah,
shit
yeah,
around. But
yeah, yeah.
in roundabout words, what they're doing here, it's an
It's wrong.
invasion. Now, my mod Stevie boy, right? I get that he says, look, there's nobody illegal. I understand everybody's got a right to live, but
Hold on,
now
what did he say?
he says that no, there's no like something to do with nobody's illegal. Nobody's illegal. Everybody's got a right to live. That's what he means. He comes on like he has his opinion on it. I get that on a human side that we want to protect people, but these people are coming from North Africa,
Yeah, but they're coming for our, okay, so I
fighting
understand
fit,
Stevie.
fighting fit men
Fighting
coming from
fit,
North Africa.
yes. But if our benefit system, especially in the south of Ireland, wasn't €250 a fucking week and €600 a fucking month and free fuel and free this, and would they
Yeah,
be coming to lonely little Ireland? Because in Czech Republic, where I am right now, there is no social system. You get £200 a month, is what you get here. No help if
yeah,
you work.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what's so special about Ireland?
Well, but Ireland give out that money, or they received money to take them in. So that was
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
that's been exposed now. The EU give the Irish government money to take in certain people from certain countries, mainly North Africa. It was mainly North Africa, and that's why you're seeing a clash in cultures at the minute in Ireland, North and South, mate. Because the but listen, I've got friends from all different backgrounds, right? But it was an eye opener to me whenever I spoke to there was an African guy in a pub one night, and he says to me, "You don't even understand." He goes, "These people, a lot of them, aren't just coming here just for a better life. They're coming here to start networks of
Yeah,
drugs,
yeah, drug networks, money laundering networks, all that
money
kind of
laundering.
stuff.
Yeah, they
Scams. Yeah, yeah.
scams. Yeah, especially because
Yeah,
they be doing that in North Africa, and they think to
yeah.
themselves, "Well, hold on, there's more money in Europe."
But those boys are not making that decision themselves. Their bosses are telling them, "You're going to Ireland and you're getting there, whatever way you have to." Because, to be fair, I see a couple of, I'm not going to mention nationalities here, but the lads are literally drug runners for people in other countries, and their bosses come over once a month to collect their money and drop off a new supply.
Yeah, and that listen, it happens everywhere. I think about it is right. It's going to happen regardless of who's here or not. People just want a piece of the pie, right? That's fine. But whenever you have whenever you have fighting fit men coming in here, I've seen it in my little town, right? There's two little towns
Yeah.
I've lived in,
Don't
and
mention them. I know where you're at, but don't
and it's
mention them.
absolutely, I can't.
Chaos.
It's absolute chaos.
Look at Killarney. Killarney had no available hotel rooms for a whole month in April. That's the biggest
Jesus.
fucking population of American tourists that come into our country, all because of this fucking direct provision bullshit. Like, the Ukrainian war happened. I reckon there's 150,000 Ukrainians. There's 3 million Ukrainians came here. They're fucking everywhere. But there was Indian and Pakistani men queuing up at the fucking dole office claiming, "Oh, I was in Ukraine."
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
yeah, 100%. Like if we didn't have the benefit system, but what people don't realize is right. So here's one for you. The counter to what you're saying is right. Is that, and I can understand this, is that if a lot of these people weren't coming in, there wouldn't be a system like a benefit system like there is, because a lot of these people work the jobs we don't want to work. For instance, I'm not cleaning toilets. I'm not out there working three jobs. A lot of these people are working three jobs. Like,
yeah,
we're not going to do that.
that's Irish fucking. That's Irish. How do I word this right? That's Irish. That's kids your age. How old are you? I'm 37. I'm
I'm
not
30.
asking you.
I'm 36.
So that like, we're the working age. We're the last of the working fucking age in Ireland, if you ask
100%.
me.
I agree with
Because
you there. I
them
agree with you.
kids don't want to do that. Bro, I have no problem cleaning toilets, picking up sick. There was a cunt shat in my fucking urinal, the thing you piss in my bar last Saturday fucking night. He shat in the thing. And none of the staff would do it. And I went in with a pair of fucking gloves and a black sack, picked it up. Good luck, job done. What's the problem? What's the problem?
100%. I mean, I get that, but that's because you're Irish too. We fucking immigrated all around the world, and but people need to understand this here, right? Ireland isn't the biggest of places, right? It really isn't the
No,
biggest of places.
and it's culturally racist. Let's be straight. But the generation above us are racist, and
Oh
especially our
yeah,
grandparents are
yeah,
very racist.
100%, 100%. Like I can't say half the shit that went on.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I can't. I just would.
I know what you're going to say before you know.
And I got angry. I'm not like I was. I remember as a kid sitting there, with my granny and granda, and things being said. The TV was on. Maybe we were watching a documentary about some country, and then certain words. You know, not as bad as what people think. The N word wasn't said. Never. That word was never said. Like, but there was certain maybe. Oh look, you know, and
Yeah,
you're thinking.
I know what you're getting at.
I
I
used
know
to
you.
get. I used to get angry. I used to go, Jesus Christ, they're just people. Maybe they're better off than us. We're sitting in a house freezing our tits off. That fella's running about, you know, in nice weather. He doesn't have to worry about the electric bill, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I used to get angry over that, but you
See,
know,
for me, it was different. Like I was born in 1986, and in
yeah,
1991, my dad moved us to South Africa before Mandela even got out of jail, and I saw pre-apartheid South Africa, and then Mandela came out of jail, and then we moved in '96. So I've seen proper racism. And then '96, I came back to Ireland till '98, and then from '98 to 2004, I was in London.
mm-hmm.
And fuck, like there was days we'd walk down Wembley High Road or Harrow High Road playing Spot the White Man in fucking London.
Yeah,
And
no.
I fear Ireland is like 20, 30 years behind the UK, because it always is, really.
Well, I remember walking into Dublin with my dad, right, going into a McDonald's. I ordered a Big Mac and a milkshake, and they handed me it was an apple pie or an apple tart or something. And I went to say to them, sorry, you got that order wrong. And my dad just turned around to me and says, look, Ronan, just eat it and walk out. That's it.
It's
You
not
know,
worth the argument. Yeah.
there's no point even questioning
So,
what you got here.
were you always in those smaller towns we won't mention, or did you live in a bigger town before, like
I
Belfast? Or...
Well, I was born in Dublin.
Don't give too much away.
I was born in Dublin in the Rotunda Hotel, and I
Oh, really?
lived, yeah, and then I lived, sorry, the Rotunda Hospital, and I lived in Cork for a couple of years, and then I moved
Oh,
up
wait.
north. Yeah, and then I
So
moved
your
up north.
parents from the south?
No, my ma's from the north. My dad's he's a dub through and through. Like,
Okay, cool. So this is where I was leading with this question. When was the first, how do I word it, non-white person? What age were you when you saw your first non-white person
I would
in Ireland?
say, I would say, 13.
Yeah, because most of my mates, it was kind of around 99, 2000, the introduction of the euro and Ireland getting into Europe.
That's it.
Like there was
Yeah.
one lad in our town, Davy Singh was his name. Black Davy, we used to call him. But he wasn't black. He was an Islander. Not Samoan, but he was one of those Islander dudes. And
Yeah,
then
yeah, I
obviously
get
there's
you.
a few doctors and whatever in the hospital. But like the first few families that moved into Waterford, where I'm from, Ballybeggin, fucking Lisdogan, they used to get burnt out, bro. Their houses were getting burnt out in the late 90s, early 2000s. And then there was a massive influx in 10 years. And that upset the balance, I think, because Ireland is not the same anymore, Ronan. I have no want to even live in Ireland anymore.
It's not even just that. Like, it's even culturally, it's a bit different.
Yeah.
I was in Belfast the other day, right? And I don't mind. Listen, as I say, I got friends from all different races, religions, and all the rest. And but it's whenever you get it from them, and they tell you that you need to be worried. Like as I said, I spoke to that guy, and then you speak to people who actually have been in the Middle East that are saying, look, you don't even understand what Sharia law is. That's
Islam is the biggest threat to Europe at the minute.
Yeah,
Islam really is.
But at the same time, I don't support Israel. I don't support what they're doing to the Palestinians.
I don't either.
But I don't support Hamas. I don't support Hamas either.
No, I support the Palestinian people, but I don't support the Israeli people, if that's the right way to word it. Because, was it 1944, 45? All of a sudden, they were given the land by the Brits.
But that's
like they claim they've had it for thousands of years, but
yeah, not those Jews. It was different Jews.
Yeah, exactly.
Jews from 2,000 years. I could say that's like pagans coming to Ireland and saying, "Well, we were here 2,000 years ago. Get the fuck out."
That's like fucking Vikings coming along and saying, "Well, fucking Ireland is ours."
That's what I mean. Pagans, like the pagans, the
Do you know what I'm saying?
Vikings, the other people, the Druids and stuff, and say, "Oh well, hold on, we were here 2,000 years ago. Get the fuck out, Christians! That we own this place." It's like, what are you talking about? You
It's
aren't even the
bollocks,
same
man.
people.
Absolute bollocks.
It's the biggest load of bollocks I've ever. But Hamas is once again a militant radical
Yeah, yeah.
Islamic. It's not just normal Islam; it's radical Islamic.
But hold on, there was no problem when the Americans were funding fucking Al Qaeda. There was no problem when the Americans were funding ISIS to fight fucking the Syrians.
Exactly.
You know,
Like if you look at that, if you look at the situation for what it was, like 9/11 happened, boom.
inside job, 100%.
100%, and not when I say inside job, right? That they didn't plan it and do it, and it was allowed. It was
Yeah.
it was subcontractedly done. So then there was no.
There was so many red flags to that, like the
Jesus.
terrorism insurance a couple of weeks before, the little puffs of smoke, the building is literally dropping like a demolition. The men doing the work on the fucking lift shafts. Come on, bro. Like, come on.
See, there's a fella on YouTube, Stevie Boy. I don't know if you know him. He's a good guy.
What does this Zionist word really mean? Sorry to interrupt.
I actually don't know. But
See, I'm stuck on it too, bro.
What I think it is, I think it's an elitist version of like the Jewish system. Like for instance, George Soros would be a Zionist.
George Soros.
Soros, sorry. He would be a Zionist, and he actually promotes the woke culture. He pays for the woke culture around the West.
Yeah.
If you know about him, he
I know all about Mr. George Soros. Trust me.
He was a Jew. Maybe you can tell me if this is right or wrong. Then he was a Jew, and back in World War II, he actually sold out his own people, and he would find out where they were living, and then he would give that information to the Nazis, and then they would go and exterminate those people.
Why do you think he got so rich?
He got all the gold. He got all that gold.
Why do you think he got so rich? Exactly. The French, the Germans robbed most of the French's fucking gold. In fairness, it's the reason they went to fucking Paris.
It's absolutely crazy.
This is a rabbit hole. Like, I don't want to get your channel in trouble for talking about this.
Oh man, listen, I've been demonetized. I've been took out of recommendations. I've been listen. Don't worry about it. The channels.
No, but you're one of the nice kids. You can. I like debating, and you're one of the good kids with a brain you can actually talk to. So,
but I have to say this to Stevie Boy, right? So there's a guy on YouTube. I forget his name. Forgive me if he listens to this here. I apologize, but he's a Jew and he's from Ireland. And he was telling me a story about the persecution against the Irish Jews, and he says that was a story that was untold, which I'd actually like to find out a bit more about. There's PD gone. So yeah, listen, I have to actually state something here. The opinions in regards to Mr. Conroy, they're not my opinions. I've been following the Paddy situation for a long time now, and I would have to say that I don't know the truth. I don't think anybody else knows the truth. You just have to wait for it to play out. And anybody that doesn't know anything about that shouldn't really be speaking about it. Do you know what I mean? Oh, there he's PD's back. PD, what's the crack?
I pressed the wrong button. Sorry, bro.
No, it's 100% fine, mate.
I got an iPhone for the first time ever, and I'm still kind of trying to.
Oh, mate, you didn't go to the dark side, did you? The fucking iPhone.
No, it's a much better phone, man. It's much better. It's much better.
Yeah. Well, here, mate.
I'm not a criminal anymore, so I don't mind. Let's just say, I don't mind what's on my phone nowadays.
Here, you weren't into that fucking what do you call those encrypted phones?
No, never. I heard about them. There was people I was dealing with had them, but no, never.
Nothing's encrypted. Everybody says encrypted this and Telegram.
We did try warn them. We did try in 2009. We tried to warn people when they spoke about encrypted phones, but nobody listened.
Yeah.
Listen, I was lucky, bro. I got out just in time before I was going to end up doing a long sentence.
I mean, that happened in Ireland though, where if you had. I forget. I don't even know how to describe this, but you'll know it better. Where money earned had to be declared a certain way through the government in case it was criminally owned or criminally got.
Like, I'm not going to talk about this publicly, right? Well, privately, no problem. I'll explain a lot, but I'm not going to, because no.
Yeah, 100%, mate. I get that. I get that fully. It's it. I've spoke to a few boys myself from that have been hit hard with that, and that just says like, it's hard to even earn anything down there, even legally, because they'll just do you for it. Like, um, let me have a look at the chat here. There's Scotch Egg. Why isn't PD on YouTube anymore? I don't know. I haven't muted you there, PD. So I don't. Oh, he's muted himself. Let me take another question. LOL. Yeah, I had 38K hidden behind my fridge, as the bank would have asked where I got it. Like that happens here too, but it's even worse in the Republic. Okay, Jude. Let me just invite you on. That's it in the chat there.
Sorry, I was going for a pee.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just go back chat quickly, but I'll speak to you privately about what you said. But publicly, I'm not going to talk about that.
Jude could be coming on here in a wee second.
Jude's all right.
I'm just reading this in the back chat.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can really talk to you about that, but publicly, yeah.
This is what I'm trying to say, mate. Right. So, right, there's things like that happen. Right. You can't come online and speak about that. You can't come on and speak about certain things. But then you see boys in big podcasts like Atwood, English coming on and speaking about things, and I'm thinking to myself,
well, that's their choice, but I'm not taking that risk. Like, I have no problem. I sold drugs for a long time, long time. I have no problem speaking about that. But when it comes to finances, I'm not talking about it.
That's the thing, isn't it? The drugs. The drug thing isn't as bad as the other shit that actually goes on in the background. The sneaky, the sly stuff.
Yeah.
The business world is more ruthless than any fucking word that you'll ever.
So we were paying a guard, right? And again, I probably shouldn't even say this. We were paying a guard 400 fucking euros a week to find out everything. And then he got promoted to detective sergeant of the fucking drug squad. And it cost us 900 euros a week. Sure. We were sound. We were sound. For years, we were sound. And then he got...
PD, going anywhere. Don't be running away now, brother.
What are you coming on shouting for? Dude, I'm not in the mood for shouting. Shush.
How's it going, PD? How's it going, Hanson?
What's he shouting for?
Jude, what's up, mate? What's the crack with you? Are you going to be good here?
Hang on.
Keep your phone still.
Bastard.
Keep your phone still.
I had an echo in the background. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, mate. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Turn the TV off, Jude.
How's it going? Hey, are you a minute behind or what?
About a minute behind, Jude. You're about a minute behind, mate.
Look, hang on, I'll come back in 1 sec.
Right, good man.
Fucking bastard thing.
I'm sorry. Jude makes me laugh. Like, let me just. Is he still there? Is he? Let me just remove that. I don't know. Have you two boys got beef?
No. I used to terrorize Jude, but I've been nice to him the last couple of weeks. No, I've been genuine. Like, I used to just terrorize him because that's what I used to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But since I come back now, I'm not even arsed with all that fucking shit, man.
Yeah, mate, you've changed. Like you've completely changed. Why did you come back onto YouTube, and why do you delete your lives after you do a live?
Because I don't want numbers. I don't want views. I don't want people watching what I have to say. If I want to have a live, I'll jump on, say what I want to say, and
all good, mate. I think your signs went there again.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you perfect now. Yeah, it's a fungo. You're somebody ring you.
Yep. So,
Yeah.
yeah, look, how do I word this right? I was doing very well from dogs, so I didn't have to work for a long time. I won't get into specifics. I was doing okay from dogs and whatever else. And then COVID came in, and then alcohol came into my life a lot more, where I was maybe drinking 2 or 3 times a week to 5 times a week to 6 times a week to 7 times a week. And then you go from 8 to 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1. And YouTube just kind of took over and consumed me.
I seen that, mate. I seen there was a time there on the cesspit where it was just absolutely bananas. Like it was bananas. There was just
bro,
wars.
when you're at that work ethic, like obviously you had the dogs, you had to do that, but for me that was easy. That's not work. That's go walk a few dogs, go pick up a bit of dog shit, go power wash a few kennels, feed them twice a day. That's not work.
Mm-hmm.
But last September, I just said to myself, you know what, I need to do something. I need to invest in something. I need to get something. So that's what I did. And
you couldn't terrorize the tortoise. How did you terrorize
come here now, right? Come here. I was trying to be nice to you when I left you peaceful. If you want to have a fucking war, cunt, I'll have a fucking war. And I'll terrorise you, you scruffy little heroin dealing wrongin'. You ran out of Dublin. You ran out of Dublin. And I'll be in Ireland next week, and I'll go to your hometown of Balliar, and I'll make videos on your home street with people you know. So you go shut now, because I'm not in the mood for you.
Tell the people we're in
I'll run you into next week, and I'll
terrorize you.
I'll terrorize you. Don't
you shut up a minute.
Don't even
tell him to shut up a minute.
I'm going back. See you.
Will you let someone talk? Shut up a minute. It's just a PD show. PD show. PD show. Here, I'm in Manchester.
Go fuck your family and go fuck all to do with you. You scruffy little. You do not.
Is your team short?
I'll go to you.
Look how come from Manchester, you weirdo. Yeah, I'm not in Dublin. I'm in the UK, you midget.
I know you are. I'll go to your hometown. I'll interview people who know you, and they'll tell me all about you. I'll interview people who know you.
So, Jude, I've muted you, Jude, for 2 seconds because you're the one who came on and started to go mad. Right. So so Petey's going to have his first say. What and where did this beef start off? Why is Jude coming on and saying that to you, Petey?
Because I told you I was terrorising him last year, but I actually did try. I actually been speaking to him peacefully for the last couple of weeks in his own chat. Well, now he thinks he's brave. He must have had a few beers, or maybe he's had a little shot of heroin, or whatever he does. And now he wants to. Look, you can see I'm not in the mood for that. But if he wants to come on, I'll ruin him, bro. I'll bring PD back for one night only, just for him. And if he wants to keep it up, I'll terrorise every fucking live he does for the next 6 months. And I'll get the PD army to terrorise him just as quick.
Right, well, I'm going to let him have a say here, and then...
Well, he's not the shout, because I'm not listening to shout. Look at him, like. Look at him. He's 50 years old, like. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, I'm just going to mute you here 2 seconds here, mate.
You don't need to.
All right, so, yeah, actually, I don't need to mute you, you're right, because you take control of this StreamYard. I remember that there about 6 months ago. Right, Jude, go ahead, mate.
Okay. See that little midget? He told everybody that I was ran out of the country by the IRA. Yeah, I was shot. Yeah, I was a psychopath. And I robbed 2 people that robbed me. Okay. I was here. And by the way, I'm sober 28 years, you little midget. Hey. I bet you're an alcoholic. You're an alcoholic. End of story. I didn't come on to argue with you.
There's me door frame. There's me door frame. We call them midgets. There's the door frame. Look. You clown, yeah. See that? You're an old man.
Were you in Prague? Here. How old are you, you little midget? You scouse midget.
Oh, look at him. Look, what a
we are in Prague. Hey. Go look at my history here.
Were you in Manchester? Were you in Manchester? Because you ran out of Dublin. That's why. You were ran out of Dublin. That's why you're in Manchester. Scruffy little heroin dealing cunt. How many people have you killed selling your horrible drugs?
Houston, I hear PD. Houston, community live, yeah? And I'll bring somebody else to you, right?
Your breath stinks. Go brush your teeth.
On Tuesday, Yeah, come into me live on Tuesday when we're talking about the asylum, you little hobbit. Down and enjoy that night.
I'll terrorize
Why,
you now.
you
It's on now, dude. I'm going to terrorize you. I'm going to
that's what you're
terrorize you.
Bye-bye.
Terrorize you.
Good night. Brown, and thanks for letting me on. PD,
Run along. Next.
Yeah, you couldn't terrorise the Fiji, you little midget.
Run along.
You'll do nothing. Shoot your mouth, you hobbit.
Go stick another needle in your arm and come back.
Right. So
go stick another needle in your arm and come back. You scruffy little junkie cunt.
Is Jude gone? Is he?
Yeah, his McDonald's Wi-Fi ran out. He used to go back over the road and log back in. Watch the adverts, you know.
Yeah. Jude, I think you've frozen there, mate. I'm not. There you go. There you.
Yeah, like your fucking brain.
Well, that was interesting. I mean, I thought you two boys actually squashed that beef. As you say, you've been going on to his lives.
I think he's looking for a bit of fucking fame, is he?
Yeah. That's mad, mate. That's mad. I know Jude had it in him, like, but I didn't think that he was just capable of just coming on and going mad, like.
They're all that. Listen, YouTube is different now, Ronan. You fucked YouTube up, you cunt.
Listen, I'm still waiting on a cartoonist to make Acro Man. That's going to be the best seller.
That's your name. I christened you Acro Man.
I might actually make a separate channel, Acro Man, and just do the lives. Just do lives on it.
Just give me a second, I'll be back.
Yeah, 100%. Well, that was a crazy one. You know, I like Jude. Jude's came onto my channel. That he's told his story. If you want to go check out the podcast that's done with Jude, just type in Holden Official Jude, and they'll all come up. But I felt like there was nothing to that argument. It was just a needless beef. Yeah, needless shit. That it wasn't actually. There was nothing to it. It was just arguing for the sake of arguing.
Jump on calling me a midget, coming on, scouts, cunt, blah, 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 why you in Prague, blah, blah, blah. I call him a junkie, scruffy heroin dealer. I ran out of Dublin. And it's been like that for about a year. Like, it's the same shit talking. This is... Like,
what's your opinion on your fella? I've just recently seen him there yesterday. Somebody sent me a link to his channel, Tank. Do you think he's funny or no?
He's funny, but he's throwing the life out of that. I think he's from Dundalk with that accent. I think he's living in the UK. But he's
all right.
From Dundalk.
He is.
Isn't he?
Yeah. He's from
Dundalk. There are certain words he says, and only people in Dundalk can say it that way.
Do you know why, right? I think he's either from Dundalk or he's a traveller.
I said to Paddy Ward, now I'd be close with Paddy. I don't know if you know Paddy or not.
I know the wards. I know some of the wards.
Well, this is he's a Manchester ward. This lad. This is why my new channel is called De Paddy, which means me being Irish, and the ward. So me and Paddy are going to do a live one day a week, and just go back to a bit of roasting people, a bit of good fun, fucking having a laugh, but not a shouting match. No calling each other nonsense or bacons or
mate.
Any word of acro was out, but they're kicked off. If they're going to use them words, they're getting kicked off.
100%, mate. See this word. See this calling people nonsense and Peter.
Unbelievable.
Like I, you know, as it stands, 99% of the YouTube community, on all communities, are bacons.
Are nonsense and wrongins and yeah, it's crazy.
Like you don't go out into your normal world and meet somebody in a bar and go, here, mate, by any chance you aren't a
but
bacon,
dickhead, you don't go to a bar and ask to come for an acro, do you? So fucking remember that, cunt.
Mate, listen, he fucked himself up there. He should never have came. And listen, I can't take credit for that either. That was
no, you should have listened to us when we told you to stay away from him.
Yeah.
But you were trying to be like the independent one that gives everyone a fucking voice. But like, you'd only come on. We'd all known him long before, you know.
And I get that.
It's not like anyone's telling you what to do, but like, we're trying to give you some advice.
No,
but
I know that. I remember that.
I went off, I think, in September. I think you were on about 1,700 subs. And then when I came back in February, you were on like 6,000. I was going, go on, Holden. What have you done? I looked at your channel and there was nothing fucking exciting. It was the shorts.
I have to say this, right? There is no growth. There is no growth in putting out long format videos. You might get 2,000 subs. You might listen. People need to know this, right? You can have 500 subs and bring in a panel of 200 people, right? If that's what you want, that's fine. That's fine. That's 100% fine. But if you're going to build a channel, right? I've got another channel, by the way, where I just put out shorts. I don't tell anybody
Yeah.
about it, right?
Yeah.
And what you need to know is
But
that
the
if you,
monetization on the shorts is not as good as it is on the longer version.
of course, you don't what 80 million views for a fiver or some mad shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're
it's
not.
crazy.
It's stupid, but if you want to build a channel, there's a kid who got 1 million subscriptions within a year through just YouTube Shorts. So I said to myself, "I'm fuck this here. I'm not being involved with some mad bastards on YouTube. I'll still come on, do a wee bit like this here, have a bit of crack with yourself, PD, and other ones, talk about all the mad situations. But there's no way I'm going to put in the level of work these boys are putting in for maybe what 15,000
But
subscriptions.
even before the shorts came in, it was 2020. It would have been 2020. Maybe the end of 19 into early 2020. I put a video up, it was 15 or 17, I think it was 17 seconds long. It's just a picture of pups, literally just pups feeding off the mum. And within 2 hours, there was 20k views. And Claudia was beside me. I was like, what the fuck? Look at this in 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I woke up the next day, it had 112,000 fucking views. Just a 17-second video.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of it, I had 312,000, blah, blah, blah. 17-second video.
Yeah, but that's better. See, it's the shorter the video, the better it is. For instance, like if people want,
this was before the times of the shorts.
right. So they click. That's what I'm saying. People were doing that. They were just scrolling anyway, regardless if YouTube had a short system. People were still scrolling through.
But this is the brainwashed minds now people have, Ronan. Like,
yeah,
my first mobile phone was in 1999, I think.
Same.
I got a portable TV as a fucking present, I think, in 1997, and I thought I was fucking Bill Gates. A little tiny little 4-inch fucking screen portable TV with an aerial. And now look, like kids have no mass on anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, PlayStation, phones.
It's like for instance, people would so that's what I clicked onto, right? I maybe get a few people in watching it live. If I've got a bit of drama going, there might be a few people kicking it, but I don't want to be doing that. I'm not really into all that fucking mad shit. Do you know what I mean? Like even when we spoke about Paddy, that makes me feel uneasy because I understand the Northeast situation, how delicate that's not just about Paddy. That's about, you're talking about two serious gangs going to war.
You're talking about shit. Families and lives and prison time.
100%. Yeah. So I have to actually state this here. When it comes to Paddy and stuff, I don't know what the truth is. I have to just say this. I watch all this stuff because I find him one of the most interesting people on YouTube. Fascinating. This geezer coming on here has this past, but he tells
Paddy, when I always listen to something when I sleep. I can't just go to sleep. So I have my phone. And I normally turn on Paddy Conroy, to be honest.
So do I. That's exactly the same.
I fall asleep listening to him because he does bore me to a point. So I just, it's crazy. Like,
it's the knowledge that he has, regardless of what people want to say about him. I know
it's snitching too, though. It is like he's on about bodies and on farms and fucking.
But for instance, is that not him? Just the counter to that, right? Because I've been watching it now. I sort of educated myself a little bit in what he was saying because obviously people thought he was talking shite. And I said, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to listen to what he has to say. I'm going to really dig deep. And what, for one, I wouldn't call that snitching. I would say that he's saying he hasn't mentioned names. He hasn't put anybody. He hasn't put anybody inside, like. So he's never snitched on anybody to that degree. But what I'm trying to say is that he's came on and he said, look, this is what's happened to me, whether you want to believe me or not. This is what's happened to me, and I know certain locations. I didn't do this, but I know locations, and this shit isn't getting sorted out until you admit to fucking targeting me and my family. And if you look at the situation for what it is, he was targeted. So do you know what I mean?
None of that shit should be online, bro. None of that shit should be online for everyone to watch.
But you have this, just not backing him, but just looking into what I've seen. You have the Sayers and some factions of the Sayers, because I was friends with Steve Wraith. I didn't know too much about this here, and I
was too. Yeah, I used to speak to Steve Wraith. I probably spoke to him on a phone call once a week back in the day.
But there's a reason why Steve and all these boys are fleeing at the minute, because they have to go into hide.
You have to understand too, like Wraith, Steve, and I don't mind saying this, he was not working for, but friendly with the Sayers, and he was
targeting
Paddy.
100% he was, man.
You know,
100%.
he jumped in that 3D Fight Club fucking ring and called him out.
I have to say this, right? And I never said this then. I'm going to say it now because I really have to make a standpoint with this here. I got given a video by Steve, and it was around about the 3D Fight Club thing, and he gave it to me, and he says to me, "Put this on your channel." And stupidly,
I got the same video. Same video.
I put it up on my channel. I took it down about 20 seconds later, and I said,
I didn't put it up.
What the fuck am I doing that for?
See, like, you know, Rate had nothing to do with any of this side of YouTube. See, you have to remember, I'm around a long time, Ronan, long before you were. And Rate had big numbers when, like, the House of Pain done well, and the other PD channel I had before it done well. And I was getting a little bit of traction, and all these people started obviously coming over and trying to friend me. Like, well, Humble, like, I got sucked in by Humble. Came to me after the whole Cody thing and said to me, it was actually Donna Humble text me a message under a video I put up. I think it was a dog video. And she said, "Oh, you're after falling out with Cody, and here's his friend Decca Heggie," and sent some fucking link to a video, and I watched it, and I thought, "Okay, another wrong." And then I started
instantly you knew that that Voldemort was a wrong.
For sure, yeah, for sure, because there's patterns of behavior with people, and I've seen people also in real life that are very similar to. Like, there's only, like, if you fuck up once, like if you slap the bird on the arse once, and okay, that could be a fuck up, like fucking drunk and full of coke and just being an idiot.
Like, what done it for me, somebody sat me down, right? There's a fella who lives close to me, sat me down. He says, "Look, I'm with you on the trolling campaign." He goes, "But let's go through it here." He says, "Look, this geezer he's convicted of a sexual offence. Yeah. He's got 2 rape allegations, an allegation of kitty fiddling. He's got multiple domestic abuse charges, and he scammed people online." He goes, "Ronan,
it's a pattern of behavior, Ronan."
And I went, "Actually, you know what? See, since you put it that way, mate, you should fucking punch me in the head right now. I'm such a stupid cunt."
Maybe I should have put it to you that way before. I was just going, "What the fuck are you doing back in this wrong?" And I was on a different level at that stage.
Yeah,
Not
I get that.
to you like now, you know.
Here, but I have to say something. Just remember, do you know what done it for me with the whole? Do you know what really made me think about the whole situation in the Northeast? See, whenever I found out Gary Furby was giving information to the cops, I said to myself, "Fuck that there," because they were 2 Northern Irish cops he was speaking to. You know, 2 Northern Irish cops. They were working for I do believe some intelligence agency collecting information, starting fires in the Northeast. And I said to myself,
don't think that police are not on here now on fucking, maybe not here right now, but they're not on YouTube with fake accounts that are starting it up. Don't think police are not doing that. Don't think, especially intelligence agencies, with them kind of people, not with the likes of me and you, but with them kind of people, for sure they are, bro.
Because I spoke about this last year and on my channel, and I regretted speaking about it because I hate speaking about a subject not knowing about it. And I spoke about it without knowing the characters, the figures, and the scenarios, right? And whenever I looked into it, and I know I've never lived, well, I've lived in that world, but not to the extent maybe you lived in it, and maybe you're a bit more savvy.
No, but you lived in a world that was completely different to us. Like, you lived in a war zone when you were growing up.
But it was black. It's black. No, I didn't grow up in a war zone. I grew up in a war zone whenever I decided to leave my house. I was very I had
sheltered.
What way could I put? It wasn't sheltered because it was definitely fucking mad, right? There's certain things I can't say, but there was I was told, look, this is one thing, and we're here to protect you because of certain things that have happened. And because of that, it took me till about 13 years of age till I went out and I says, look, fuck yous, I want to know what's going on here. And I went out and then I done my own thing, right? But over here, it's either black or white. You're either a bad person or you're a good person, and that's it. Bad people over here shoot you. You'll get kneecapped. You'll get your fingers.
I was actually going out with a girl in North Belfast in 2009, I think it was.
I mean, North Belfast is one of the craziest places. Like,
and I used to travel up to her every weekend. I'm not going to mention the girl's name, but I used to travel up there every weekend. Bro, it's going up there with an Irish Reg car, it's speaking like I spoke. It was 100%. Just pure intimidating. And I was in that lifestyle at that stage. I was busy back home. Nothing bothered me back home. But going up there was a different fucking level.
So that's what I'm trying to say to you, right? So whenever I hear of 2 Northern Irish cops working in London and there's a certain individual involved in the Northeast gang wars giving them information, I'm thinking to myself, these two are coming as a pair. They're working for an intelligence agency, whether that be...
I wondered that about you, to be honest, when you first came on the scene. And I'll say this to you now. I wondered, where the fuck did you come from? Because
I'm Officer
you kind of
Holden
came
here.
out of... No, but you kind of... No, you're not now. I know you're not now, but you kind of came out of nowhere with...
Do you want to hear? Do you want to hear a mad story?
I think you don't have reviews now. Looking at it, I definitely think.
Do you want to hear a mad? Do you want to hear a?
Go.
Do you want to hear a mad one? Right. So, I believe, I don't want to say who I think it is, right? But I got contacted by fighting trolls 2 years ago because I was just putting out stupid little videos to do with true crime and all that bollocks, right? Didn't have a clue. Didn't have a clue about how YouTube worked or any of that bollocks. Thought I could put out one video and get 150,000 views, right? Right. So I got contacted on Instagram by fighting trolls, and he says, "Bro, there's an anonymous account says to get you on the show." I didn't even know who this fella was.
Wow.
He goes, "Check out my channel." I went on. I goes, "Fuck, this geezer's running about wherever he is." I think it was. I forget where he was living at the time. He goes, "I do live panels every night. I get about 150 people into 100 people because that's how he was only in 3,000 subscriptions, right?" So I went, "Fuck, right? Who's this geezer that's told you to get me on?" He says, "I don't know. It's an anonymous account." Do you know who I think that was?
Come.
I think it was Sean Atwood.
Why? Where's the Atwood connection with you?
Because prior to coming on, I would have watched a lot of Sean's stuff. I didn't know who Decca Higgy was. I knew who Sean Atwood was and James English, and I knew who Joe Rogan was. I wasn't
just
mad.
Watch podcasts, basically.
Just watch podcasts, true crime, and all that mad shit. So I said to himself, I had a lot of videos to do with COVID because I had to go up and down to the hospitals. And what I would do is I says, look, this needs to get to a bigger audience. Who can I get in contact with to show that the hospitals are empty during COVID? Sean Atwood. So I tried to send him all the videos. And in the conversation that we had, I says, by the way, mate, I'm going to be starting a YouTube channel. And he says, good on you, good on you. Now, he never showed those videos. That didn't materialize. I sent it to him on Facebook. So I then started a YouTube channel, and within 2 weeks, or could have been a month, fighting trolls gets in contact with me, saying an anonymous account and Instagram's told them to get me on. Now, I'm not saying it is Sean. It could have been anybody, but looking for what it is, it could have been Sean.
I'll give you a little bit of background on where I know. So I know Atwood from the Cody days. That's where I know Atwood from. He always came across to me as a sleazy, slimy little fucker. Always did. Now, his story, I believe his story to a point because there is paperwork and stuff like that, but I don't think it was as big as he's made out. But fair play to him. But I could never understand like a guy with 500,000 fucking subscribers that are getting like 300 and 400 people in. That for me, like the House of Pain at one stage had like 1,700 subs, and we were getting 500-600 people a day watching.
Yeah, I remember. I was watching it myself. I know. I've seen that.
It was just pure shit talk.
But then he was getting a couple of thousand people in whenever he it's like anything. For instance, you look at other YouTube.
No, but when he went down the creepy sex road, that's when he started getting numbers. I think none of his true crime podcasts have done, other than obviously the big fucking hitters. Like James English is better at the true crime, I think. But the minute Atwood went down that creepy sex road, and that whole thing with that fucking Caddy Diamond, I was watching on like, I don't know what he was thinking.
Do you think
like fighting trolls is around like? So I'll give you a little bit of background on fighting trolls. So fighting trolls came onto the Cody thing too, and I got a little bit close to him. Like I was the one set up his channel. I made the email. I made the account. I actually probably still have access to the account, to be fair. But what happened with Paul was he got too ahead of himself and thought he was getting famous, and a couple of other people. Now I know who these people are. There was 2 guys that really tried to help him and met him and brought him out for food and were willing to put a lot of money into his channel to blow it up. And for some reason he didn't listen to and you'd know who these people are, but I'm not going to mention their names. You'd know them from YouTube. One of them is a very wealthy man, and one of them is very good at social media, and it would have been a great pairing. Paul never listened, and he had other people.
Was there
getting in his
drugs going
head.
on with Paul? Like, was Paul
Of course
heavy
there
on?
was, yeah. Of course there was, yeah. Of course
Because
there was.
I
Well,
remember
you can
doing
see it on some of these lives what he was doing.
I done a live with him, right? And it was, I forget the boxer's name that came on. It was an art.
The fella from Birmingham, what's his name?
Yes,
Yeah,
you know
I
him
know.
on about.
He's a traveller. He's originally from Galway. What's his name? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know who I'm talking about. So he came on, right? And Paul then
I was watching that live.
Was coherent. You could hear what he was saying. He was his questions were fucking fantastic. And then it just seemed, I noticed there was a decline in Paul after I remember he peaked and he went on Sean Atwood's show.
He thought he was getting famous.
And then he started to go downhill. And then it was all downhill from there. And I was like, fuck me, man. Because we actually had a live scheduled and he was supposed to come on. And I had the whole thing set up. I was texting him. The only two people that ever ditched me on a podcast was Liam Ditchy and him.
Two fucking snakes.
Pardon the pun. Liam Ditchy ditched me on a podcast.
Like,
and you know,
it's probably hypothetical of me speaking, but if Paul had taken on the advice of the two lads that were trying to help him. Now I know the two lads had their own bigger agenda with it because he could have blown up, but he needed a little bit of investment and editing and that kind of stuff, and those lads were willing to put it up. And I'm not going to say too much, but if he'd have listened to them lads, he would.
100%, mate. But you're not going to listen. See, whenever you think that you're famous and you're taking those tablets, I'll just say it, right. I'll just say this now, right. I had a bit of an issue with pills. I've never really spoke about. I've spoke about it a few times. And you know, listen. Let's call a spade here. When you're on that shit, life's a lot better. Speaking to the wife's great. Doing the dishes is great. Being fucking walking about's great. Doing shit that you don't like to do is fucking great. But the after effect of that is it leaves you with no motivation. You're fucked the next day, and you have to take triple just to get a hit, just to get a high. So
that's funny you say that.
Do you know what I mean?
So, and it's actually you saying that is made my brain think of loads of different scenarios, because so I lost my finger 2006. I lost my finger. And I was in hospital 3 months, blah, blah, blah. And I came out and I was given OxyContin and oxycodone.
Mm-hmm.
So I was on them for 3 months. Now, I didn't really hook much of addiction to them at the time. But after I got hooked to tramadol. So I got off. I never drank till I was 21, till my finger came off. So went through all that, came out of that, started drinking a little bit. Then went back to doing my business. But in 2016, I had a motorcycle accident. A fucking nun, of all people, a nun, bro, pulled out in front of me and fucking creamed me. But done damage to L5 and L6 on my back.
Ooh.
Dude, they gave me 100 OxyContin to go fucking home. It's like what you just said. I took, no, I was only supposed to take 3 a day. But sure, after 2 days, I was taking 4 a day and 5 a day. And then I had no problem doing the dishes. I had no problem being out of love. I rattled for 4 fucking days.
Like, I can only imagine.
A minute was like an hour was like a day. It was, oh my God.
Did you see the way you just described it? Did you see the Netflix documentary on the Sackler
family? I didn't watch
it.
I didn't want to watch it.
Well, if that's going to trigger you and certain things, demons that you went through, and don't watch that, because
I woke up one night like thinking I was having a heart attack, but I felt lovely. It was just, but my heart was. I'd probably taken like about 10 of them that day.
Ooh,
and Valium were a cunt for me when I was sniffing a lot. And where I lived in Waterford, they were making Valium, and some of the lads were taking all the seconds and the duds that don't make it. So I was buying fucking bags of 5,000 for €1,000 fucking euro.
Jesus.
Then I got done 2012 dangerous driving. I was at about 20 Valium that day. Went off on the back roads in a Toyota Glanza Turbo. Thought I was a rally driver and hit a fucking camper van.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, yeah. Stupid things.
Yeah.
Those prescription tablets are worse than any illegal drug I've ever taken.
100%. Listen, I see most of the shit that you're getting off the streets, right? They'll not do anything to you. Like I'll never forget. I took it was just the 30 over 500 mil coatings, right? Paracetamol coatings, because I had a toothache, and I took about 6 of them, and I drank a bottle of vodka. This was about maybe about
You'd be whacked.
13 years ago, and I went out to the pub and I fought with every
Oh, I
cunt.
remember you saying this story. Yeah,
Like it was boys swinging for me. I was getting jealous over anybody speaking to my missus. Like it wasn't me, and
You'd be whacked.
I remember waking up the next day thinking to myself, "What? I hear this, and X didn't do this to me. Do you know what I mean? Baby powder didn't do this to me.
No way. Fucking X made me run around kiss everyone.
Yeah,
Even if
yeah,
I didn't like you, I'd kiss you.
yeah. Do you know what I
You know
mean?
what I'm
Like,
saying?
yeah,
And
100%, man.
like the baby powder for me chills me. Maybe when I was younger, I was a little bit hyper. But if I was to have a fucking sniff now, I'd be chilled.
I had a fight with my mate because he gave me baby powder. I spent about 100 quid in the bar. It was a work do. Got absolutely sliced out of my head. Right, I was on gin, vodka, the whole heap. I was at a meeting, a horse meeting. Right, got absolutely sliced out of my head. And he goes to me, here, try this. Here, first time I ever took it in my life. So he gave me a bit of the baby powder, and within about 10 minutes, I was sober. And I says to him, I goes, hold on, mate. I've just spent 100 quid to get absolutely sliced, and now I
Yeah,
feel
but you had the
sober.
wrong idea. See, the thing with the sniff, like it got so bad for me with the sniff back mid-teen 20s. I wouldn't have 2 pints without ordering a bag. Then you could go out on Thursday and knock him home till fucking Tuesday.
Exactly, that's what my mate's like.
You know?
He can't even look at a drink. He has a tin of harp, tin of tenants. That's him bang. He's like, right, where is it?
Order a bag, yeah.
That's it.
I
That's
used
it.
to be like that.
I just personally didn't like it because it made me too jittery. I was more into the cat's piss. I love the cat's piss.
No, I couldn't now. To see that shit, no. I think I've only ever taken that 4 or 5 times. We got shit in. I'd love to tell you the full story of this. So something came in. There was a big amount of something came in. And this stuff, so a kilo of this stuff, you could put 5 kilos into it just to melt it down. That's how strong this shit was. And sure, dickhead never listened. Well, I would have been 17 or 18 at this stage. So I never listened. Took half a fucking teaspoon, took this shit. 5 days later, after a half a teaspoon. 5 days later, after probably pulling my Mickey off my body, shattered, stuck in a room by myself. What the fuck?
No.
Fuck that drug. Fuck that drug.
I'll never forget. I'll never forget. We were at a rave at a beach, right? And they were dishing this out. Now, I didn't say to myself, right, I ain't going out to take A, B, and C. For me, it was about the party. It was about good socializing, women, good friends and stuff. And then maybe when I get a bit tired, and I remember my friend taking out a bag of cat's piss, and all I can remember was taking it, right? And then I woke up and I was walking down a road, and there was some girl beside me. I'm not, put it this way, she was a bigger girl, but came into the SS BBW, so she was super duper, like I can't describe you how big this woman is. And I remember looking at her and I just woke up and she goes to me, I'm married, I went, what the fuck? Who are you? Who the fuck are you? I don't even know who you are. Where am I? Like, where the fuck am I? She was like, well, we took a walk. You wanted to take a quiet walk with me? And I was like, not really. No, I'm sorry if I fucking whatever I said to you. I goes, but I don't even know where I am right now. It was like fucking 6 miles in the opposite direction. Didn't know where I was. Completely in space, like a fucking space cadet. A moon cat. I was a moon cat. That's the only way I can describe myself. But mate, that was the funny. I remember ringing my mate to collect me and see if there was phones back then. Jesus, I would. My family wouldn't speak to me.
Like the close again. I have to be careful what I say. The closest I got caught to fucking a married woman, I had her bent over on her kitchen table. Her husband was supposed to be away for 2 days. She was in the countryside, and all of a sudden lights came into the driveway, and I backed out very quickly, pulled my pants up, and went under the kitchen table with a tablecloth. And bro, the man came into the kitchen, made a cup of tea. I'm hidden under the fucking table. I can see his feet. He walked past me into the fucking sitting room, and I was out that door and in through fucking cow shit for about 2 hours. And anyway, stop talking, Stephen.
No, listen. Look, they're funny stories. They are funny stories. the women were just different back then too. I remember the girls that we used to run about with were just fucking sound, good, decent women. You know, obviously, see now today you can't go out. I was in the gym the other day, right?
The story's now running because of how crazy YouTube has gone. I don't even want to fucking talk about fucking some of the old crazy
Ah,
stories.
listen,
Do you know
fuck
what I
them.
mean?
Fuck, listen. If somebody calls you wrong and fuck them, they've
Call
never
me
got.
you're wrong and go fuck
They,
yourself, Jim.
they've never had their hole before. But listen,
Yeah, do you know,
obviously,
fucking hell.
obviously we need to differentiate here. There's a massive difference between a woman who's consensually in a situation with you that wants the same thing, married or not. That's a funny story.
I got a
Everybody's
foursome for my 30th birthday.
fucking me.
There you go. There you go. For my birthday.
Fair play, mate.
With-
Fair play.
Anyway. Yeah, there's
Listen,
loads of fucking stories.
you are a lucky man. You are a.
No. It's just been in
It was
crazy
all.
situations.
It was all women now, PD, wasn't it?
Oh, for sure, bro. No, I
All right,
wouldn't have
okay.
any of that. No.
That's good. That's good.
No.
Listen,
No.
we're living in 2023, so listen, I can't give off here. I can't. If you had to say to me, no, it was fucking
No.
four African men. I would have to say, listen,
No.
well,
Bubba. No, thank you.
fucking hell, mate. Listen, I know a few of those boys too. I know one fella. Fuck, I can't even get into that because he's just a mad cunt. Married, three kids, and him out fucking riding.
Bro, it's the married fucking ones are the wildest ones.
Mate, listen, there was a fella, a mate of my girlfriend, or my wife. He used to come in and I says, what did you get up to in the weekend? Because he's a bloke. He's just, even if he's gay, he's just a bloke, right? Because he thinks the same as blokes. He's just, you know. And I says to him, he goes, you wouldn't believe it. And I says, enlighten me. He says, I was shagging a lead member of the GAA. And I was like, what? He's like, oh, I married, kids, everything. He goes, I'm a side piece. I was like, fuck off, man. He goes, GAA. You're talking about the same GAA I'm thinking. He goes, 100% the GAA. He goes, and there's actually a load of them to get together and we all party with them whenever their wives are fucking on holiday or they want us to have a wee fucking get together. It's like, Jesus, mate, this is getting out of hand for me. But it actually came to the point where I actually says, don't have him back here because God knows what he's bringing back. He'd bring back fucking AIDS or chlamydia or crabs or something, you know, coming into my house, you know, carrying a fucking bag of crabs with him. So it's sort of after that, she just cut ties with him and then we never seen him again. But that's what he used to be up to.
Like there's some female stories I could tell you from the boy club and stuff like that. Wow.
We should do it some night.
I've seen a female being ran by about 40 men. No, I wasn't involved with that, right? And then after that, came up and sat on top of the bar and stuck the Guinness tap up her fucking hole.
Was that in Amsterdam or Prague?
It was in fucking Ireland. Yeah. Listen, there's loads of crazy stories about this.
Oh, mate, it's.
I don't want to get you banned off YouTube. So
no, listen. You can come back on. We can tell. We can get the story straight. So we're not.
I'm not getting into my story. No, not yet.
Listen, I'm going to shoot on here, Petey. But thank you very much for coming on, mate. It was a pleasure to speak to you. Good man. So right, people, we're going to end this live stream now. Mad respect to all of yous.